And we should be good. Let me spotlight you. Everyone wants to see you.
I'm sure.
They do. Um, huh.
Okay.
I can't do the spotlight. Let me see here. Speaker. There we go. There we are. Okay, welcome everybody. Happy Wednesday. I'm super excited to be here with Dr. Jen. She is on our medical advisory board. Can you see us, Dr. Jen? Okay.
Yeah.
And so this is part 3, you guys, that we're going to be covering. And we have been talking about conquering mental health in 2024. So many people have so much anxiety, don't know what to do with it, don't know techniques to incorporate in their daily life. When you feel yourself getting anxious and, you know, I always say going off a cliff, like, oh my gosh, your nervous system's freaking out. Really today I wanted Dr. Jen to go in, like, what are some techniques that we can use in our daily life that are going to help us get our body back into a place of peace. So I want to just say before we start, you guys, anything you hear today, you want to make sure you always clear with your doctor. This is not intended to cure, treat, or diagnose anybody. This is just Dr. Jen giving some techniques to help us in our daily life. So I just want to give that little medical disclaimer because I forgot to pull up the slide. So, Dr. Jen, a little bit about you. You've been in practice over 20 years. You've studied all over the world, trying to gather information and knowledge to then turn and share with your patients and your inner circle on how to deal with this kind of stuff, along with so much more.
Yeah. And in reference to today, some of that information is around breath work because our life is our breath. So if we're not really intentionally doing it, being it, feeling it, that life source depletes and it decompresses in our body. So when we're looking into the realm of anxiety and mental health, and how do we even change like a cycle in our life, right? How do we begin to create and change a pattern, even if we're not even dealing with the anxiety and stress? It's like now we want to, move into something different, entrepreneurship, like our best creative magnetism. What do we need in that? We need our ions moving. We need oxygen in our body. Right. And so a lot of times we're very vulnerable in like, how am I breathing? We want to be very, think about our lives. We want to be very conserved in a lot of different ways. And so this is where our dis-ease comes in, that disconnection with the mind and body. So today, and all these different techniques that I've learned across the ways, I'm going to bring in a couple simple ones that rather, you're an avid breath worker. We're all the breath workers. We wouldn't be here without it. But whether we're really in tune to it or not, we're going to move into, okay, how do I just bring in the breath, move the oxygen, and get the carbon dioxide out, get the toxins out? And this is going to do a lot, right? Mood, anxiety, depression ish stuff, like I said, creation, but even digestion, absorbing nutrients. All of these realms of things need oxygen, our bloodstream, the way our heart functions, and moving it all the way up and down through the body. So typically when we think about the breath, we're thinking about this, right? Like in and out.
Right.
And breath is really, am I inhaling and allowing it to move through all my levels of consciousness, which we've talked about before, all these aspects of me, all the way down out through my feet into the earth, grounding me into the earth, and then all the way back up. So I mentioned that in the realms of, this is what we get to know about our body. Our mind gets to move this way with our breath. Our breath is the source. That's why it's so important. We're not going to go into all that stuff today. As you said, we're going to get right into action. Right. But that's how important it is. If you can choose one thing a day, every single day that you do, allow it to be focusing on your breath. This is your source. This is your life. This is what will change your state of mind almost in an instant. Change that long diagnosed depression in an instant, right? So this is where we get to pay attention.
Right. Well, I have a question, Dr. Jen, because I know this is funny that you said this, because when I get stressed out, or I've, you're dealing with something, I always feel my husband's like super calm about everything. Like he
Yeah.
just is a flat line and just nothing rattles him, which I love that about him, right?
Yeah.
But he'll put his hand on my back and he'll look at me and he's like, breathe. And I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot to breathe. And so whenever you get stressed out,
Yeah.
yes, we're breathing, but our body, it really not. So that's something I think that I wasn't even aware of until he started saying to me, breathe, take a breath. Like,
Take a
and
breath.
he'll make me do it with him. He's like,
Well, that's a good boy. Um, so that's key though. I mean, that is really key. Your statement is, an amazing statement for all of us who get into depression, anxiety, a lack of mood, a feeling of I don't want to anymore.
right,
Your mind is thinking that because your breath has stopped.
right. Yes.
Right. So, and you're like, well, what does the breath really have to do in that importance? Well, absolutely everything, because it's about flow. Once the flow stops, think about an ocean. If that were just to stand still, what would happen to our entire universe? Right?
Oh,
It would decay. There would be no motion. There would be no life. There would be no fluid. It comes in and it comes out.
right.
That is the source of our energy. That's our ions. The same thing should be happening in our body. So when we go into stress, we're taught to do this. So everybody knows this idea. We do this,
Yes. Yes.
right?
Exactly what we do.
Exactly.
Our
Right.
shoulders get all tight and miserable.
Shoulders, and I'm like, I don't know why my back hurts, why my head hurts. No clue. It's
Right.
like you have just compressed your entire energetic system into holy, you know what.
Yeah.
So most people will start to recognize, or they'll come in and say, I have the weight of the world on my shoulders, or I'm so tight up here. Well, we do that when we get into stress, right?
Yes.
So, what we're going to do today is actually meet that stress,
Okay.
because first we need to realize that we're doing this because we're scared and we don't actually want to feel the emotion. We do this because we're like, I don't think I can handle what's coming next.
Oh,
You know
that's
what I mean? But
super
you
helpful.
actually
Yeah.
can.
Yeah. Right.
That's why you're in it.
Right.
But the very first thing is to allow your parasympathetic body. So again, we weren't not going to go into that right now, but your healing mode, right? Which is more in your belly. When you're born, you come out of mom, you're breathing into your belly. Your belly's actually expanded out, and you're just kind of like, the world is good, all is fine, right? And
Oh,
then a trauma happens, and our innate ability goes, I need to go into survival. And
oh,
then we walk around like that. Now that thing goes away, but my body is still, I'm not doing this. Right.
yes. Yeah.
So the breath work, the thing we get to do every day, because it's about our consistent cycle. So we would know that our trauma happens this more than this. I mean,
Right.
his life, especially right now.
Right.
It's
Everybody
messy.
feels the same
It
way.
is so messy, and you can't get around it. Like you can't ignore it. It is. So
Yes.
what your power is to go, okay, how am I in my body, even though I'm witnessing this? Am I like this or am I like that? So what I mean by that is that when you're inhaling, so we're just going to start with this, unless did you have something?
No, this is what I want because I feel like everybody needs tools because once I learned about breath work, I became aware of my body.
Right.
Now it's like the breathing from Dustin, he reminds me, I can feel my shoulders. Even if I'm dealing with a situation, I feel myself do that. And then I'm like, wait, I'm getting all, wait, I have to be conscious of it. And so then you bring
Right.
it back down, and it does make a big difference when I'm like, wait, I'm not doing that because my neck will start burning and everything just because of the
Burning,
you take.
headaches, sleeping at night. You're supposed to be rested when you're sleeping. Most people start their sleep process like this, you know? It's like
Yeah. They're
you're
going to
going
bed all
into it
crumbled
that
up.
way. Yeah, of
Yeah.
course you're not going to sleep. Like that
Right.
would be impossible. You'd be like
Right.
defy physics, right?
Right.
So, number one, be aware that this is even a thing and that you are in control of it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, number one.
Okay.
Number two is when you're taking a breath in, like I said, it's your mentality is moving up and down this way through your body,
Okay.
not out and in for right now. Because
Okay.
we want you to be aware. It's a whole new level of awareness, right? Not just like I'm aware of these things are happening in my life, like body awareness. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So when we inhale for right now, just so I can get into the actual practice, we want to attend or intend that our shoulders are just relaxed. So just let them drop down.
Okay.
Even if you think they're relaxed, I guarantee you they're not. Just let them go a little more.
For you that are watching, I want you to follow along with Dr. Jen, okay? Because I know y'all can't see me, but I'm following along with her.
Yeah.
So let's do the
Yeah.
breathing together.
Right. So rather you're sitting or standing, what have you, just allow your shoulders. You can even bring them up a little, tense all the way, and you can look funny with me, and then just let them drop because we always try to relax. You got to bring tension into allow relaxation.
Okay.
You can't tell your body just relax.
Right.
It's impossible.
Right.
It's already in a stress for a reason. So we meet tension with tension. So,
Okay.
tension, and, just create however it looks, and then allow your shoulders to relax. Now you feel a little bit of activity up here. When you inhale all the way, you're going to imagine as if there's a cord running up and down through you. And as you inhale, you're going to allow your belly to actually expand out. So inhalation down, belly out. This is your
Ah,
nature's way of breath. Healing is here. That out of survival mode is down here in our grounding, in our wisdom, in our power.
okay.
And then our energy actually rises.
Okay.
Not easy to do. People are very, I can't do it. Well, of course you can't do it because you're used to doing the up shoulder breath, right?
Right. Right. The
So
shallow stuff that doesn't work. I mean, it keeps
exactly,
us alive, but it keeps us in stress mode.
exactly. And
Yeah.
we can't heal anything in stress mode. There's too
Right.
many things going on our body, our brain, our heart that has to take the oxygen first.
Right.
Everything else, it's not getting that. Our muscles, like our back pain, it's not going to get that oxygen. You
Ah.
know what I mean? So it has to go to survival organs first. So if you're just breathing, I have people lay on the table and I'm like, we're doing this exercise, take a breath in. And it
Yeah.
looks like, and I'm like,
That's not good enough.
this is your healing. Take a breath in. Like your life depends on it because it literally is your life depending on it. And we're just like, no, like take a breath in. My belly is out. I'm filling my belly. Now my breath is still being held in and I'm expanding here. Like I'm out in my belly, big Buddha belly,
Like I was just gonna say, like a Buddha belly.
like the things we don't want.
Yeah.
For
Like the
right
things
now.
that are unpleasant for a picture. This is how we're gonna do our
This
breathing.
is how we're doing it.
Right.
So we're taking the inhale. Now this is like our lighter breath before we get into that stuff that clears things. So we're
Right.
going there in a minute, but I just want everybody to understand this circuit. So you have this circuit up and down you. Your attention is here. You're inhaling all the way. Your belly's coming out. You're still inhaling. Make it slow. Now, when you get to the belly, you're exhaling all the way down out through your feet into the earth. So you're just allowing the energy to drop out of your feet into the earth.
Okay.
And then now you're going to inhale from the earth, filling the belly, allowing the belly to rise again. And exhaling all the way up. So your intention is that you can use your imagination because that's our creativity. Your intention is that you're seeing this flow of yourself this way, right? In
Right.
all of your stuff, in all of your walks, in all of your things. Like you're walking as this. Now, a quick tool on that before we actually go into the breath work, before we, run out of our time here, is when you start breathing like that in your day to day, we're not talking about working out and when you're holding your core and all that stuff, right?
Right.
Your inhale, belly goes out. If you keep it that simple without the cord and all that, fine. So inhale, make sure your belly comes out. We haven't even gotten into like activating the heart and all that stuff.
Wow.
It's
Okay.
a thing, right? Where we would
Right.
then hold attention on the heart. But so maybe Sarah, let's do this quick if you don't mind. So is there something that's been on your mind?
Um, oh my gosh.
Well, like just pick one thing, or you don't even have to say it out loud.
Fitness. So go like I want to gain more muscle. That's something that I'm
Okay,
working.
you want to gain more muscle.
Yeah.
Perfect. So I want you to just from head to toe scan your body.
Okay.
Where does your attention land when you think about your consistency of getting into fitness and building muscle
Oh, kind of in my core a little bit.
in your core, like a little
Up my core.
lower, like your belly button,
No, up above my belly button a little bit.
up above your belly button.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's your personal power.
Aha. Wow, that kind
Right.
of messes me up.
So your need to want to do that wants you to activate your personal power more. So your attention then would go to that space. So
Okay.
you're creating something with that energy.
Okay.
Maybe put your hands there
Okay.
and allow you the focus of your breath in that same intention we just went over, go into that space. So just allow your breath to move into that area, because now your body aware, now your body focused on something that you want to create. So that energy gets to move so that you can actually shift that cycle and or create that cycle.
Is it crazy after just a couple of breaths, you start to feel like I can feel my body just after a couple of breaths start to relax?
Correct.
That's
So
incredible.
it's interesting, right? Because your body is telling you to go in that space to create. So the same thing happens with pain. You might have like a headache, and I go, okay, scan your body. You think it's going to go to your head, and someone goes, no, it goes right to my heart. Well, that's trying to tell your heart to open. Everything is a communication of a signal.
Yes.
Right. So if we ask the body, where in the body am I feeling this? And we just bring our attention there and focus on that movement, we're actually utilizing the energy that's creating that thought or that symptom to actually allow our body to use the energy, the oxygen, the life force.
Okay.
Right. So be aware. Are you here or are you here? Number
Yes.
one.
Yes.
Number two, when you inhale, allow your belly to expand out. Inhale,
So
exterior, expand the belly.
inhale means belly out.
Correct. Inhale means belly out.
Okay. And when you inhale or exhale, does your belly change?
Yeah. So as you exhale, you're pulling the navel in. So this is what we're going to go. This is
Oh.
what we're going to go into. But I just want to make
So
sure that
belly in for exhale, inhale is belly out.
correct.
Okay.
Opposite than what we do when we're doing this.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely. Okay.
And it takes a little bit of time. Don't get frustrated. In a moment, your neurology is going to remember your birth, and you're going to be like, oh, this is easy. And your belly is going to come out and in, and all is good.
That was my question. I was going to ask you, like, if you practice this and you become aware, how
Yes.
long does this take to form a consistent habit? And then is there a way that you can consistently breathe like this, or do we always have to be aware of it?
So it will become natural, but depending on the amount of stress, mental, physical, emotional, and traumatic that you've had, can take the time to get out of it.
Okay.
Not all the time. I mean, like we've said before, it can happen in a breath.
Right.
But if we have a lot of things that we're trying to work through because we don't really want to feel it,
Oh.
it might take a little bit of time for you to actually allow yourself to fill the belly so that you feel safe and that you're also vulnerable to why you've been holding.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
holding your breath
People,
because you're holding an emotion, because you're holding a trauma,
oh my gosh, that's deep.
right?
Yeah. And a lot of
But
people don't, nobody, it's hard to let go of that stuff or to work through it because when there's a trauma, nobody wants to look that way. They're like, oh, if I look over here, it'll go away. But it doesn't work like that
it
because
does
the,
not work that way,
yeah, the
right?
body
And that's
remembers.
why we go
Right.
into the body.
Right.
So I want to mention with that, because that's also a very good point. You don't have to think about all of the stuff and the story. That's why we say where in your body. You just go to your body,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Like if I'm having a trauma, my back pain hurts, or I'm let's forget about a pain. Like I had uh, a trauma that keeps coming up for myself from childhood. And I think about that, and I don't have to go into the story. All I need to say is, where in my body am I feeling this? And I might go here one day, here another day, here another day, here another day, because at that point in time, it's what I shut down so I was safe.
Uh,
Now that's okay. You needed it
right.
in the moment, but now we're asking you to think about that, connect with that space so that your body can become more whole,
Oh, yes. The
right?
work together flow, the energy flow. Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't really have to worry about, oh, and now I need to go into like a counseling session. You
Right.
know what I mean? We're
Right.
using it different. We're saying, let's use your body, let's use the vessel,
Yeah.
because you're here to actually experience that different in this moment so that you can walk into other experiences different. We walk into the same experience again and again and again in a different form because we're holding the energy of the originality of the original cycle that could have been 20 years ago. It could have been, and we still go, nope, not feeling the heart.
Uh,
And it has actually nothing to do with right now.
right.
It's familiar to what I felt before,
Right.
So I don't want to go too deep into that. That's conversation, but we're just doing
The
um,
posture.
the movement. So that is all leading to this way that you can just eliminate the stress. Now, a lot of times I call this like a type of fire breath, but we're going to do it different
Okay.
so that it's easy for everybody.
Okay.
There's a lot of different breath works and all this kind of stuff, and breathe in and out the nose and close one eye and blah, blah, blah.
Stand on your foot and jump
Stand
around.
on your foot. Just breathe. We need to
Okay.
get oxygen in, toxins out. Oxygen in, toxins out. So we all get to look funny. We'll all look the funniest. That's fine for me.
She's like,
But
cut
I
that.
want everybody to use that original breath that I was talking about, where the belly comes out on my inhale. But it's going to look like a deep, so we're going to breathe in 5 times really deep, almost like a hyperventilation.
Okay.
Okay. But not to that extreme. Um, if you've never done this before, maybe sit against, something, because you
Okay.
can get a little bit tingly. You can get a little bit out of your mind because you might not have had oxygen to these spaces, which is why you have pain or disease where you have it.
Oh, wow.
That's
Okay.
why we're moving. Like, hence
Yeah.
exercise. It's an
Right.
internal exercise, right?
Right.
So it's going to look something like I'm inhaling all the way, belly's out. But now this time I'm bringing tension to tension. So I am really intensely bringing my energy. And then we're going to hold our energy out and suspend. Now, when you suspend, we're going to do this together, but I'm just showing you. When we hold the energy out and suspend, you're just going to focus outside your body. Maybe you hear birds chirping, maybe you hear, I don't know, your dishwasher humming, anything outside of you. Just focus on that and allow your body to relax. And then we're going to do it again.
Okay.
So again, the purpose is that you're really bringing your lungs, your apex up. The lungs in, oxygen in. Your diaphragm will compress then into your intestines. Nutrition, this is where all this stuff comes in, but now we're moving oxygen all the way through your body.
Okay.
Mind can't be negative at that point, can't be depressed at the point, it's impossible. You can't focus on the same thing in the same moment.
Right.
Okay. So
Okay.
we're going to do 5 breaths, suspend.
Okay.
It's on your outer.
Okay.
5 breaths, suspend, focus on your outer. Then we'll come back and then we'll just see how we feel. But this
Okay.
can change your moment in a moment, your cycle, your breath, your life, your health. And then consistently over time, you'll notice your nervous system then can take in all the stuff from our outer world. And it's like, okay, I
Oh, that's
see it.
interesting. Yeah,
I'm
more
not naive to
yeah,
it. Like
yeah,
I'm still seeing it, but I don't need to say it didn't happen. I'm okay.
yeah. We don't react to it like we normally would.
You respond. Okay, I
Yeah.
need to do this. Now I'm back. I need
Yeah.
to wow, I'm seeing that. Compassion. Wow, I'm seeing that. I get to speak into it. Whatever it is.
Right.
Right. I'm grounded. I'm not all over the place. I'm not just in my head doing what I already did, which
Right.
we talked about before. So
Right.
okay. So everyone can look a little funny with me.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So allow your shoulders to relax, even though we're going to tense them up. So we're going to inhale all the way for 5. So let all your energy out, suspend your breath, find silence outside your body. Allow yourself to attend to feel the tingling nature of your body, of your oxygen, of your electricity. And then again, one more time, 5 deep breaths in all the way. Allow your breath to suspend out. Allow your mind to focus on the environment around you. Take note of your body. Where do you feel the most tingling? Where do you feel the most sensation? Feel the relaxation, the energy, your source. And then allow yourself just to take another deep breath in. Allow your shoulders to relax. Maybe you move them around a little. And you will feel that they're not in that tension mode because you brought energy to energy. You brought tension to tension.
That's amazing. I feel tingly down my arms and my fingers and my hands.
Yeah. And you should. Yeah, you should. You're bringing that oxygen with intention down in through the areas that actually need it the most. Like for me, I felt it in the back of the neck. Um, and a little bit in like my lower like abdomen. Everybody
Mhm.
will feel it somewhere different
Right.
because we all need
I had
oxygen somewhere
I
different.
was
Yeah.
I was following your suit. I don't care about looking silly. I want to breathe.
Yeah.
I want to breathe and feel good and feel a difference. So, what does this look like, Dr. Jen? What do we do? Do this um, morning, evening, both? Like how often do we practice this?
So like what I like to tell everybody is um do it in the times. We want to be able to have it when we are in the stressful moment, but the way that that actually works is that we're doing it as our practice before that even happens. We're training our body. Like I said, no different than a muscle. You're training your nervous system to be able to take life in a
Right.
new. So the best times, of course, is in the morning, outside, as you always say, you love being outside, grounded.
Yes.
really when the sun's coming up or going down, because that is you as well. You are the sun up and down. You're the earth, you're the moon, the sky, the universe, you're the microcosm and the macros. So
Right.
use that, the full moon, the new moon, when the
Yeah.
sun rises. But I would say
Connect us with
really in the morning
nature.
before you start your day,
Okay.
whatever that means for you, if you're not like that type of early riser, because the way you start your day is the way your day goes, right? If I wake up and I'm just like, and I do that for 5 seconds, do you not feel different than you did when you first got
I
on?
I do. I feel really good. I want to go sit out on the ground after we're done here.
But that took what, 2 minutes?
Right.
And then you can add, continue to add maybe a third cycle, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. We only did two. Say 4 minutes out of my day before I do anything, before I put my water, my espresso for me, whatever it is for you, in the morning, so that you can have what do I need to do today? What's my main focus? It's going to be different when you do that.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
we've had a lot of people watching today. That's awesome. Does anybody have any questions for Dr. Jen? Drop below, you guys, if you have any questions. I was looking silly with you, Dr. Jen, but I don't care because I'm like, at this point, there are so many people that are stressed and have so much going on. And when you feel that coming on, you guys, we need to be conscious and say, wait, Dr. Jen gave me a tool that I can use because we don't want anybody to be stressed out, right? I mean, that's not a good state to be in. It causes disease.
No.
I have
And
a
we don't
friend
want
of
anybody to do anything that they can't take back because they didn't use their tool. Like we're given this tool for a reason. And it's not
Right,
just some like, a bougie, people are like, oh, it's the way your body works. It's how you function. And we get to know how to utilize it so that we feel empowered and can in control of what we do next so that we don't have to keep going, oh, now how do I auto correct, recorrect? And now I'm in the same pattern again. And then we're constantly in that judgment of self
yeah,
because we feel like we can't show up that way or what have you. But these types of things, like if we just shifted our energy in a moment, like it would change our environment, our world, our communities, the way we communicate.
right,
Think
yeah,
about that. And that's so simple,
right,
and it's free.
right. So before we get, instead of reacting, we get to respond, because there is a big difference between reacting and responding to a situation. You know, a respond, you get to step back and observe, say, okay, this is interesting.
Yes.
This is what's happening today. How am I going to respond to this?
How
Instead,
am I going to respond? Um, how is it serving me? And
right,
where in my body am I actually feeling this? Because we could get into a conversation that I really don't like, and I can feel like you're attacking me, but you're actually really trying to awaken me.
right.
And you're only really awakening me if I turn around and go, okay, but I'm feeling that right here, right now. So if
What
I
does
take
that
my
mean?
energy there, like
Calm yourself. Yeah,
my throat, my voice, my ability to hear, for example, like I'm feeling a lot right here, which is why I'm saying it.
yeah,
I'm being tapped to open my communication more, my voice more, or maybe hear another more,
yeah,
whatever. But that's what's happening in our conversation. We get into it and we react.
right.
You
Well,
and this, and it doesn't mean we shouldn't be voiceful, but
right,
where is it from? Is it from our sacredness, or is it from old stuff? Or I'm taking it personal. Like these are all ways we get to deal with how to communicate different, better, and allow it to be like I said, awakening for myself and for you.
right.
That's what
And
triggering is supposed to be.
yeah, exactly. But it's interesting that babies know how to do this. They always have the little Buddha belly. You see babies with the Buddha belly, so cute, you know? But we were created to breathe this way.
Yeah.
And so we need to be aware. And this is a big thing for me, Dr. Jen. So I love this. So thank you for doing this today. And
You're
if you
welcome.
guys, you still, as Dr. Jen's speaking, or we're about to finish up here, you have questions for her, get in the chat, and she's always in the chat. She's in the group, so she can answer any questions you guys have. She does breath work. She treats people around the world. So if you're looking for some trauma or some emotional releases, she can help you with that. She's an expert in that. So Dr. Jen, today was incredible. Thank you. I feel great. I'm going to go out and sit in the sun for a minute and sit in the earth and do a little bit more. So I'm going to challenge you guys that are watching to go do that with me. I love and appreciate you all. Dr. Jen, you're the best.
Have a good day.
You guys
Thanks,
have a good
everybody.
day. We have another call here at 1 Eastern. We're interviewing Hannah Hell. She's a hemp expert, and she's written a couple books, so we're excited about that. And stay tuned for Dr. Jen. I don't know what our next series will be. We'll come up. If you guys have something that you want to hear from Dr. Jen, drop
Yes.
in the chat.
Let me know. I love
Yeah.
talking about whatever you guys want to talk about. And
Yeah.
the array is very expansive. So
Yes, it is. You're awesome,
pick
Dr.
it up.
Thanks
Thank
for today.
you.
All
Bye,
right.
guys.
Bye.